How about now? Better? When is it our time? When will our love shine? Who will let us speak? Who will see? We ain't weak. This is not choice, but chance. This is opportunity, a new dance. Who knew love could be forbidden? We never wanted to keep this love hidden. All we wanted was to show our pride, holding hands and truly being seen. We never ever want to hide. This is our time to shine. Watch us speak, you will see. We ain't weak. So go ahead, be stupid snitches. We are here, we are queer. Don't get that twisted. Go ahead and fear. This is by Christopher Poindexter. I watched a girl in a sundress kiss another girl on a park bench, and just as the sunlight spilled perfectly onto both of their hair, I thought to myself, how bravely beautiful it is that sometimes the sea wants the city, even when it's been told its entire life it was meant for the shore. And this is called Gay Love. This writer is gay, and the priest and the old love of his church kneeling to pray. The farmer is gay, baling the gold hay out in the fields, and the teacher, cycling to school each day. The politician is gay, though he fears to say, nodding his tongue, his tie, and the doctor is gay, taking your pulse in her calm way. The scientist is gay, folding the origami of DNA, and the judge in his gray wig is gay. The actress is gay, spotlit in the smash hit play. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, our children are gay, and God is gay.
Y'all are going to be sick of hearing from me by the end of this hearing. So just a little bit kind of basing off standing on the side of love.
You want to put it up a little bit.
Is that better?
I think so, yeah.
Just kind of with this, talking about LGBT inequality, I do think it's important for people to hear stories about people who are LGBT and how things have affected their lives and made them kind of who they are today. And with any LGBT person, I think they have multiple coming out stories. I don't think that a person has just one. Because when you come out, you don't come out to the entire world. You know, you can come out to your family, you can come out to your friends, you can come out to your school, you can come out to society. So each one of those stories, or each one of those comings out has completely different effect on how you approach things, how you approach life, how you approach people. And I think all of those different stories combined have kind of made me who I am today. Normally on my coming out, I just tell people the story of my family. My family was extremely supportive. By the time that I was probably 4 or 5, they knew that I was most likely going to be gay. I would always want to wear my mother's dresses, her makeup, get into her high heels, and they always supported that. They bought me jewelry, they bought me necklaces, they supported my love for Disney princesses. So growing up in my family, it was always never something that was frowned upon or wasn't accepted. My family in general was very, very kind and supportive. And so I think that coming out is very easy for me to tell people because it's a simple story. It's not like a lot of other coming out to their families where kids get kicked out of their families, they get abused by their parents, they get sent to conversion therapy. A lot of other kids had it a lot worse than I did coming out just due to the fact of my family and how gracious they were towards me and my sexuality. But on a side note from that, coming out into society and into my school and to my friends was a very, very different story. I did go to Laconia. I went to a very, very small school. In that school, there were not any open homosexual men, and it was something that people would use as jokes, you know, in the locker rooms you could call the faggot or something like that, you know, just negatory terms when it came to sports-related things. I was in every sport there was. I was in basketball, cross country, track, tennis, so the whole year I was always athletic, kind of in that group. It was very small groups, so you were either a cool kid or you weren't a cool kid. And I guess I happened to be lucky that I was, for a majority of my time there, a cool kid in sports and this and that, and here and there I would get picked on due to my voice or how I looked or my feminine features. And then I just remember one day I was in 9th grade and it was a math class or art class, and this man kept calling me a faggot over and over and over. Without the teacher doing nothing, she just kept her mouth shut, closed a blind eye, and finally I stood up and I stood on the table and I said, "So what? What does it matter if I'm an effing faggot?" And I just screamed it. That's where it just like although my family knew, this is where I'm like, oh damn, now everybody in the entire school knows I'm gay. And on that note, I got sent to the principal's office and I got suspended because I said the F word and stood on a table. Although I was getting harassed for the past 10 minutes, getting called a faggot, a cocksucker, all of these things over and over, but no repercussions happened to this man. So I was suspended for 3 days and I just cried. I did not want to go back to school. I was so scared. I was so nervous, and already at that point my brother had told me that I was the entire talk of the school. And so he was 2 grades ahead of me, so that was kind of nice to have an older brother that supported me. But he was like, just let you know when you come back to school it's going to be hell. Like, your life is going to suck. And so at that point is kind of when I was like, well, my family accepts me, so it's okay. Like, it's fine. I can't let anybody else hurt me because my family loves me. I can come home at the end of the day and I can be okay. But sadly, that's not how it works. Family can be there for you so much, but when you're getting it from 1,000 other outside influences, family seems like just a speck of dust. So I went back to school, and just from there on, I was beat up, I was made fun of, I was basically not kicked out of sports, but with how mean to me people were in the locker room, I just had to drop all sports. I had to drop every activity that I was doing because I would get pushed and shoved in the locker room. If I went to go into a bathroom or go into a stall, I would get thrown out by men saying that I just wanted to come in there and stare at them. I had literally teachers kick me out of my classes because I was a homosexual. I wouldn't do anything. I would just be sitting there in class and they'd look at me and say, "Christopher, can you go sit in the hallway, please? I don't want you in here." We went to the school board, we went to the superintendent, I wrote complaints, I had the friends that I did have write stories, and it did absolutely nothing. It did not a damn thing, to be honest. And so through this and all of this hate and just constant discrimination, being bullied and beaten up, when most people feel that way, they turn to depression, they turn to suicide, they turn to drugs, they turn to addictions, and that's all what I did. I did all of those things, and it kind of was just like a bam, hitting the wall. I didn't know what to do. I was getting made fun of every single day. I was getting beat up every single day, and there wasn't anything that I could do about it, because everything that I tried to do just didn't work. And so one night, it was probably about 2 o'clock in the morning, and I just said, screw it, let's do this. Let's just kill yourself. Let's just get it over with. Got a razor, started just cutting as deep as I absolutely could into my arms, and I have no idea, by the grace of God, how my mother just randomly woke up, but she just randomly woke up, kicked down the bathroom door, and just picked me up and immediately went to the emergency room. So I can say, by the grace of God, I have no idea how this happened, but thanks to her, I'm still here today. But due to all of those negative things that continuously happened in my life, I didn't know what else to do. I didn't know who to turn to. I saw multiple therapists, I saw multiple psychiatrists, and just nothing seemed to continue to work. And I thought it was my fault that I was this way, and that possibly I deserved it because at the time, in my religion and my Christianity, I was like, well, you know, it is a sin, so I think this is probably my fault. This is probably what we deserve. And mind you, I'm 14 years old thinking this, so, and after that, went into a mental hospital, was there for quite a while, and got out, was able to return to school, and about the first week that I was into school, got into a lot more trouble with a bunch of different kids, and eventually led to my expulsion. So in 10th grade, I was expelled at the beginning of the 10th grade year. Literally had 33 people of my friends that I did have within the school write in, tell them that I'm not a troublemaker, that I'm not a bad kid, because I would be the one getting in fights and I would get in trouble for it, that it was my fault, that I was the issue. And eventually got expelled, went on to be homeschooled, and was homeschooled, graduated with a degree for that. And I can say that when people are in a small town, a small area, their voices, and they're different, their voices aren't heard. I think that's why it's super important for us as a community and all of our surrounding communities, because there are so many smaller surrounding communities, just to bring us together, because I know that if I felt this way, I know there are so many other people out there that feel this way. And like I said, I normally don't share this story because to me it's in the past and it's not something that I like to relive and think about every day. So I just share the story of my parents, my family, and how grateful they were and kind they were. I don't really ever dig down deep into my high school story or what happened to me because I personally don't like thinking about it. But then when I think of, wow, I went through this, I had these experiences, I know that there are other people in there that do as well. And so through that, I was able to, today, 2 years ago, I contacted Laconia, I contacted the principals, I contacted all the teachers there, and said, hey, just let you guys know that all of the hate that you guys gave to me, all the things that you put on me, all the suspensions that you gave me for absolutely no reason, just due to the fact that you did not like me, made me who I am today. So thank you guys all so much. I really, it's a horrible thing that I don't want anybody to go through, but I wouldn't be standing here, I wouldn't be in my point of activism, in my point of education, if I didn't do that. So if they didn't do that to me, I should say. So just kind of in my personal story, like I said, everybody has multiple coming out stories, and they all can be good, they can be difficult, and they can be a little bit of the both. But when it all comes down to it, it is up to us, it is up to our generations of people to create change, to spread awareness, because a lot of it does have to do with education, and a lot of people just aren't educated. So I think once we get out there, we step up, we stand up, we raise our voices, people will learn, because if we don't make people feel uncomfortable about certain situations, they're never going to get comfortable. They're always going to be stuck in that same exact spot. So with that, it's up to us, and I think as humans, it's our duty to make that change. So.